Hi everybody! uh, I'm Kelly. I am from SheepDreamery.com and welcome to my videocast. It's number 12 and today is January 29th, 2013 and I am coming to you from outside. It's actually 62 degrees here today in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm taking advantage of what little sunlight and fresh air I can get for now. I'll also warn you in advance that I live in a very blue-collar, hard-working neighborhood, and today is one of those days where my neighbors, a lot of them are retired, and this is a day where they take advantage of the weather, and they go outside and they build things. So you will hear some hammering, you might hear some cars going by, you should probably definitely hear birds, and you may occasionally hear Maisie. And let me see if I can show it to you. Where are you, big girl? Maisie! Hi! Hello, puppy! So, she gets excited very easily, depending on what the other dogs in the neighborhood are talking about. They're great conversationalists. So Maisie's actually, when I've been bringing stuff inside and outside, she has been guarding my wool for me, as a mutt with some shepherd in it would do. So I appreciate her hard work. So what else is new? Has everybody had a great week? Has everybody had something fun to craft? I am still working on my 36-inch snowball, and it's got a big old loop right there I've got to fix later. Oh well. So it seems like I haven't gotten very far on it, and actually I have. It just takes longer. And I'm even doubling the yarn. So I'm working on that for the Yarnivore podcast. If you're unaware of it, if you're brand new to my videocast and you've never heard me talk about it before, you've never heard anybody else talk about it before, Sadie, who is also known as Blue Ruin on Ravelry, from January through February, is holding a knit along, crochet along, sew along, where Friends of Animal Lovers, I think it's called, they are making as many blankets, snuggles as possible for animals that are in shelters, just so those animals have something kind of soft to cuddle up to while they're in those cages and crates and things like that. My Maisie, she was a shelter puppy that we rescued. Oh, we'll wait for the plane to pass. Sorry. I kind of forgot that I live under a path flight because the airport is actually over in Kentucky, about 20 miles away from here. But they have a path that goes directly over my backyard. So I kind of forgot about that. Sorry about that. But anyway, Sadie's podcast is called Yarnivore. I think her group on Ravelry is called Yarnivorous. And if you've just finished a sweater or a giant shawl and you just need something as a palette cleanser for finishing knitting, you want to knit something else but you don't want to do anything that's too involved, I highly suggest just knitting a snuggle. They don't take real long and you're helping out an animal. If you don't like animals, you should probably stop watching me right now. Everybody loves some kind of animal. If you don't, then God love you. So please go participate in that. And if you do participate There's also a chance that you will win a prize that I have donated to Sadie. It is a skein of yarn that I dyed myself called Sadie's Dirty Jeans. And I think it turned out really cool. I think it turned out really, really neat. So, the only other thing that I have on the needles at the moment is, hello, my firefly bag from Jessaloo. I love this. Is my Rivendell cowl, and I really want to finish it this week, just so that I can have it done in time for Knitting in Circles. They're doing a knit along in January, and it is you knit a pattern that somebody gifted to you, knit, crochet, whatever. And this pattern was gifted to me. This was gifted to me from Dragonfly. I'm sorry, I forget the rest of your numbers. But it was from Vicky, who has the podcast Dragonfly Soars, not open wound soars, but soaring soars. I always feel like I have to distinguish that for some reason. My soar and my soar sounds the same, but my Mary, Mary, and Mary all sound different. But anyway, this is the Rivendell cowl pattern by Susan Pandorf, I believe. And this is done on Cephalopod Yarns Skinny Bugga in the Coconut Octopus colorway. And I'm usually not a yellow person. I usually really do not like the color yellow at all. Let me get, oh, sorry about the needles being loud. Let me get a little bit closer. This is a little less yellow than some things, and it has blue in there and the bits of brown. It's almost like a very golden pea color, and I find it intriguing. But so I might actually keep this for myself after it's knit. I really like it. I really like the pattern and the way that it's coming up. And the reason why I don't like yellow all that much is because growing up, I have a sister who is, as some people would term it, an Irish twin. She is a year and 2 months younger than me. And so whenever, as kids, we were getting things, I would always get things that were pink, and she would always get things that were yellow. So whenever I see yellow, I designate it as my sister's color. No, I don't want it. It's her color. Mine's pink. Blush and bashful. So, whoops, I almost forgot to put my post-it note so I would remember what round I'm on, because it's never good to forget what round you're on, is it? Nope, not at all. So what else is new? Oh, okay. Today on Ravelry, somebody completed a pattern. It's very not safe for work, for children, for people who are highly offended by things. But it's called the Pearl Clutcher sweater. And I tweeted about it, and I talked about it on Plurk, and somebody looked at it and said, you know, where would you wear that? And I was like, Rhinebeck. That's your Rhinebeck sweater. That's your bragging sweater. Look what I did. So, ooh, it's getting windy. I hope my post-it notes don't go anywhere. So, if you like to be amused by things and you're not a pearl clutcher, you should go check that out because it's kind of amusing. What else would I like to talk about? Today is a very special day because my group on Ravelry now has 100 100 members, actually 102 last time I checked, and in celebration of that, there's going to be a giveaway. Let me get a sip of water and listen to the workers yell at each other. I keep looking at the clouds thinking that it's going to rain, but I checked the radar before I came out here, and nothing showed up. But if it starts raining, I don't know what I'll do. I brought yarn out to show you and everything. So anyway, what I would like to do is give away a skein of yarn, my yarn, SheepDreamery yarn. I will probably leave this open for 2 weeks to give people ample time to come on in and chat. The giveaway, to participate, all you need to do is go into the thread that is titled 100 members. Woo! And I would like for you to tell me about the first person that you met and made as a friend through knitting that you did not know before knitting. Just tell me about how your friendship came to be, if you're still friends. That's great. If it's not, you don't have to give all the details. But just, you know, my story is that I got into knitting because I was involved in a forum that had secret pals, which was not through knitting. And so the person that I was going to be giving secret pal items to knits. And another friend of ours lived in Cincinnati at the time, and I said, okay, I don't know anything about knitting, I don't know anything about yarn, but I'd like to get her something nice. Can you and I go to your yarn store together and you show me what to get? And so that's where things began. She took me to the yarn store, and everybody in the store convinced me that I should go ahead and try knitting for myself. I think I got some size 10 needles and some worsted, some cascade or brown sheep worsted, something thick, but not too bulky. And then we went back to my friend's house, and she taught me how to cast on, but then she had to go to a baby shower, and I was on my own for the rest of the day, and I was freaking out. So I made a run to Barnes & Noble, and I bought the Stitch and Bitch book, and things got better progressively from there. And then, unfortunately, a few months later, my knitting friend, who was already my friend, she moved to Chicago. So now I didn't have any knitting friends anymore, and it was kind of sad. So I started the Northeast Cincinnati. I don't believe I called it a Stitch and Bitch. I believe I just called it a knitters group. And we would meet over at the Barnes & Noble, and it was great. It was a really neat experience. There were a few people there who were my age. If you've ever knit the Holden Shawlette by Mindy Wilkes, Mindy was one of the first people to come to my group. And this was when she was still just a working married girl, and she hadn't had any of her babies. I mean, this was a long time ago. So that was a good friendship. I made a lot of great friendships. I made a friend with one of the moms that went to, her kids went to school with my kids, and they were all in the same age range, and she was able to give me a lowdown on all kinds of stuff that went on at the school that I didn't know about. So I really appreciated her friendship. She's really into the tea party now, so I don't talk to her as much, but my kids are still friends with her kids, and so it's nice that their friendship grew together too, even though her kids don't agree with most of what she says. So anyway, I would love to hear your story about making a new friend through knitting. Just tell me your story. And after about 2 weeks, I will do a video cast and get out the random number generator, and we will see who wins a skein of yarn. And you can just pick any skein that's in my shop, and I'll mail it off to you. How's that sound? Pretty good? I think so. In other news, I have enough test knitters now. Thank you to everyone who volunteered to test knit. I'm very excited about this. I'm going to be mailing off the patterns maybe today. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I've got to go to Michael's. I've got to buy some craft paper. You know, it's really hard to buy craft paper. It seems like something that Michael's would just sell. But I'm trying to do some dyeing stuff today, and I don't want the yarn to lay on top of newspaper, but I also don't want the yarn to lay on top of plastic because I don't want everything pooling underneath of it. So what I really want is craft paper, and you can't really find it online as easily as I thought I would be able to. So that's a little frustrating. Let's see, what else? Oh, today is Random Active Patterns Day. I have already done my fairy ting ting tings. So I hope everybody that got one from me enjoyed it. I think I mentioned this the other week, but I wish I had $1 million. I would just random active pattern everyone a pattern every week. I just love doing it. I love making people smile, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and give them like a little bit of hope and take their mind off of something else. Like, you know, if they're having a really terrible day, they can go, oh, I have this to look forward to. I have this to plan on knitting or crocheting to take my mind off of other things. So, one of the random acts of patterns that I gifted today is a new pattern that just came out yesterday. It is by Amy Beth Mays, who is from the Fat Squirrel Speaks podcast, and her pattern is called the Seedling Hat. Is it Seedling Dreams? Seedling Dream Hat? It's a really cute hat. It's got some intarsia, so that's always a challenge for me, but I really liked it. I bought the pattern for myself too, just so that I could knit it, and I really like to buy patterns for people when I know who the pattern designer is personally. Well, I don't know her personally, but I feel like it's money well spent on somebody that I know worked really hard on a pattern, that kind of thing, if that makes more sense. Sometimes people just have a lot of patterns in their queues from what I abbreviate as VFK, very famous knitters, and sometimes I just kind of pass over those and look for the smaller pattern designers who are trying to make their way in the world out there and give them some support. So if you're looking for a pattern to gift to people, take a chance on Amy Beth's pattern. I'm also going to be participating in Melski Knits Hoaloha, K-A-L. Is that how I say it? Hoaloha? It's a sweater pattern. It's a mystery pattern. It's a 4-week to do. And I think I'm going to need to buy some yarn. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is buy some yarn from my supplier and dye it up, and then we'll see how my yarn looks in a full sweater. That's something that I need to kind of know anyway, work on. So I think that'll be fun. So if you're looking for a good time, and she is selling a sweater pattern at a very low cost. I think it was like $3.50. So get in on it. Have a good time. Got some dogs pretty unhappy right now. Don't know what the scoop is. Sometimes they all just start barking at once and you have no idea why. And because it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it is not the two little gray dogs that every dog in the neighborhood hates. That's the one where every dog loses their mind and just goes into kill mode. We have a gate on each side of the house, and Maisie just runs from gate to gate, ready to kill. But whatever was going on with those dogs over there, she was not caring about. She's just out here enjoying the breeze. I hope that the wind isn't too loud and noisy while I'm doing this either. It's not supposed to be too breezy. Okay, and did I mention this last week? I am participating in Nerd Wars Tournament 7. It starts in a few days. I am playing for Team That's What She Said. Team That's What She Said is dedicated to NBC comedies, such as, well, it can be any comedy that ever aired on NBC. So Friends is included, 30 Rock, Parks and Rec, Cosby Show, anything from any time. What was it, like My Mother the Car? I don't know. Anything. So I'm still trying to figure out some of the rules about how things are supposed to happen, but I think the Nerd Wars assign you assignments, and then you get an idea for your assignment, and then it's also based on something, in my case, to do with a comedy that has aired on NBC. Oh, and Saturday Night Live's included. So lots of opportunities for things there. So I'm excited. I'm pretty excited about it. I have some ideas of things I can do to tie it into other things, but I don't want to spoil anything or give anything away yet. But as they happen, I'll start to talk about it and let you all know what's going on. So, let's see. And I wanted to give a thank you to Wendy, who is also known as Silly Fru. She is going to be sending me a lot of acrylic yarn to knit up some more snuggles for the FALKAL. Wendy's grandmother passed away last week, and so she's going through her grandmother's stash and said, is anybody making snuggles and needs more acrylic? I have no acrylic, so I was like, I'll take some. So thank you in advance, Wendy. You know that it's going to go to good use for some cutie pie animals. And I also wanted to give a quick shout out to Nicole from Positively Knitting. On her last podcast, she gave out the most ingenious idea to help me. Well, it helps her remember, but it's also going to help me remember, for doing a make one right increase. Say to yourself, BRB. Be right back. How smart is that? How ingenious is that? Be right back. That is so smart. So, Thank you, Nicole. I love it. I love it. It's going to help me so much. Okay, what else was I going to talk about? That's all I wrote on my post-it notes that I have stuck everywhere around here. So I could cut it off right here and make this a short episode. A 30-minute episode. A 25-minute episode. Or I could just keep on talking for a while. Because it looks like the sun's coming out. It is. The sun is coming out. Oh, and my husband is on a conference call inside, but he's also looking at Facebook. I shouldn't tattle on him. So, my plans for the rest of the day are, well, I've got to go to the post office because I'm mailing yarn to Canada. And you may have heard from other independent dyers and things like that about the postal increases, especially international shipping. The increases happened on Sunday and they doubled for a lot of places. I tried not to increase my shipping costs too much, but if you've ever bought from me, you already know that I ship as priority mail. That protects me and that protects the customer. I always have a tracking notification and it always gets there on time. I have not had a single thing go missing or awry yet. So I will continue to depend on priority mail. And as a lot of you know, I am not charging for priority mail prices. I take some of it out of my own costs. So although there is a small increase, I do believe that I increased U.S. shipping $1, and Canadian, I believe I increased that $2, and everywhere else in Europe, well, Europe and everywhere else in the world, I believe I increased it to $2 more. So hopefully this won't impact anybody too much. I have done some international shipping before. Let's see, Switzerland, New Zealand, Canada, Scotland, London. So I have done some international shipping, and it got there within a reasonable amount of time from what I could tell. The New Zealand shipping really impressed me. That got there in like a week. I was like, whoa. So, what else? The sun's finally coming out, but my neighbor's house is actually blocking the sunshine. My neighbor's house also used to be a ranch house, and then they slapped a second floor onto it, and it really sticks out from the rest of the neighborhood. It looks just completely obnoxious, and it just kind of towers over everybody else's house. So any sunshine I should be getting is being blocked by their house right now. So anyway, oh, I brought yarn out. Have you seen the Zombie Love Potion? It's really neat. It is great for making some Susan Claudino Voodoo You Love Me monsters. I think it turned out awesome. Let's see. Some other pretty yarn. I forget what I named this. It's got a piece of lavender on it. But this turned out kind of awesome and wild. It's already listed in the shop. I forget what I named it. Sometimes I just completely zone out and forget what I named stuff, and I don't put the labels on right away. So you'll just be like, where's the blue yarn? Or it's well, it's Magathy yarn. I know that. So this will be listed under sock yarn if you want to go by categories. Let's see, what else do we have here? Blah, 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 blah. What is this? I forget what I named this, but that's some good zombie colors. Turned out quite awesome, if you ask me. Yes. And, oh, here we go. Here's the fat girl. This is zombie lipstick. And this is also good for monster making. I really love the way that the pink and gray and green all turned out in this all together. Just completely wild and awesome. So, if you're looking for some worsted yarn for making cute little Valentine monsters, I've got the stuff. I can hook you up. And let's see. Oh, did I talk about my big old disaster from last week? My fiber disaster. Look at this. What happened here? This is just, it's just a giant ball of cotton candy. It all felted on itself. This is the Navajo churro, and I think I'm just gonna have to leave it like as it is or something, and then I don't know, knit a giant hat. Ugh. At least it goes with my coloring. And then the other one, just big old obnoxious green. So the lesson learned here is I did everything completely wrong. I did everything completely wrong. Even though I thought I was doing it right. I need some different equipment to be able to handle this the next time I decide to attempt anything. Good God. So that's that. What else? I don't know. I guess that's it for now. Did I miss anything? I don't know. Come on and join my Ravelry group if you haven't already. It is SheepDreamery. That's pretty easy to remember. I'm on iTunes as SheepDreamery. I am on YouTube as SheepDreamery. I am on Twitter as SheepDreamery. My Facebook group is the SheepDreamery. Plurkum SheepDreamery. My username on Ravelry is SheepDreamery. Pinterest, I'm SheepDreamery. So, I'm all over the internet as SheepDreamery. Should be easy to find. Should be pretty easy to find. And with that said, I guess I'll end this. It's so hard to say goodbye. You've all been lovely. I hope you all have lovely days. I hope you're enjoying whatever weather you have today. And adios, muchachos. Buenos dias. Bienvenido. Guten Tag. Is that wrong? That's goodbye. Guten Tag, isn't it? You always learn hello. You never learn goodbye. Bonjour. Wait, no. That's hello. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just staring around at the neighborhood now. My dog still doesn't care. She only gets up to kill the gray dogs. That's it. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all come and tell your stories in my Ravelry group about the first person that you met as a friend through knitting. And I'm looking forward to your stories. And I hope maybe you participate in some knit-alongs that I'm participating in. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.